Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your boy Preston here. And this is, fight week. This is a bit late of a predictional video, and stuff like that, but, I'm trying to make it, good, a good length of a video. But I'm trying to make it, simple, and stuff like that, But, basically, this is my preview and prediction for Gervonta Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach Jr., and the undercard, which is going to be Alberto Puello versus Sandor Martin, and Jose Valenzuela versus Gary Antoine Russell, and I'm gonna take and those are in this fights, so those are all the fights that I'm gonna be taking care of, in this Actually, I genuinely forgot. This video is gonna be specifically, for this fight, but then I'm gonna have other videos for the other fights, that's in this fight card, and stuff like that, But yeah, and stuff like that, but, let's see what we're going to start with, with this fight. But the thing is, I'm going to start with this, though, is that, Lamont Roach better be ready, though, dude. Because if he's just trying to say, oh, this and that, and stuff like that, you better be ready, my boy. Because, I know technically both these dudes are similar in size, but that is not good. The last time when Gervonta Davis faced people, that were his size, which was like Leo Santa Cruz, and who else? Yuri Orkis Gamboa, and stuff like that. He starched them very fucking easily in dramatic fashion, and stuff like that. So he needs to show something in this fight, for him to one up, Gervonta Tank Davis, and stuff like that, because I don't know, man. This is going to be a tough fight, but I'm just saying, but Lamont better be ready. Because I feel like in this fight, and stuff like that, Gervonta is going to be taking this fight a lot more personally and stuff like that than the previous fights. Because Gervonta always takes every single fight, seriously. Every single boxer is going to take a fight. Is going to take a fight seriously, and stuff like that, But at the same time, though, it's just, I feel like this is different because, Gervonta's who the hell is this nigga? Who is this dude? Literally, talking shit, and stuff. You don't have nearly as much power as me. And then, but then, Lamont Roach is just here just continuously talking shit. So it's just Gervonta is going to be really giving it to this dude. Not easy at all, because it's he's going to try to see if Lamont Roach is about his action, and stuff like that. Because, I feel out of every fighter, I feel Lamont is the one fighter that has not gave Gervonta no respect at all. But what I will say, though, for Lamont Roach, and stuff like that, is that I don't know if I did say this in my last video and stuff like that, but Lamont Roach, his power, it, has, increased a lot more in, the lightweight division, and he seems a lot more, better, boxing wise and stuff like that, in the lightweight division, because maybe this weight class is more of a natural weight class for Lamont Roach, and if he does give Gervonta problems and stuff, or even beats Gervonta, then obviously you can make that assumption, and stuff like that, and that's the thing and shit like that, but I honestly cannot wait for this fight. There's been a lot of shit talking with both these dudes, mainly from Lamont Roach's, camp, and, Lamont Roach, and stuff like that. But yeah. But Brody, Lamont, you're going against Gervonta fucking Tank Davis, my guy. Literally, you're going against, you're going against, one of the best fighter, and stuff like that. In my personal opinion, in the lightweight division, you're talking you're a UFC fighter, you're fucking Rampage Jackson or some shit. Literally, dude, oh boy, like, and shit like that, like, there's a certain level where you don't want to piss off Tank, and shit like that, because, you want to at least make it where it's like you can have a year fight. Sometimes if you piss off Tank to a certain extent, you're not, you're not going to be able to, you're not going to be able to do shit, and stuff like that. But on to my preview and prediction. So since last time in my last video, and stuff like that, to just my, my breakdown, and stuff like that of this fight, I started with Lamont Roach. So this time I'm going to start with Gervonta Tank Davis, and stuff like that, do I want to run through their records? Yeah, let's go and do that. But, and stuff like that, this is the records and stuff like that. We're going to start with Gervonta Tank Davis, 30-0, 28 knockouts. Lamont Roach Jr., 25-1-1, 10 knockouts. Lamont Roach's only loss was to Jamel Herring, and shit like that, which was a close fight, but, Jamel had the experience on him, but that was back in the day. You could make the excuse that realistically, he is a changed fighter now, and stuff like that. I don't know what that draw came from and stuff like that, but I'm not gonna really go and look and shit like that. But yeah, but that's the two records, and stuff like that for these fighters. But on to what these fighters need to do to winning this fight. And yeah. But basically, and stuff like that, we're going to start with Gervonta Tank Davis with this preview and prediction. So what Gervonta Tank Davis really needs to do to winning this fight is that he needs to fight, his own fight, and stuff like that. But, I would say, though, that, in the fight of when he fought, what was his name? Ryan Martin, I think his name is. Let me actually go see. Frank Martin, and stuff like that. There's a lot of Martins in boxing, but, I'm just saying, but Frank Martin, but in the fight against Frank Martin and stuff like that, he did good, but it's just more of, he didn't really care about, being accurate. He more just cared about, just letting his hands go, and stuff like that, which, yes, I mean, for Gervonta, I mean, any type of tactic is good, and stuff like that, but when you're, going against Lamont and stuff like that, I would like to see him more kind of counterpunch, and stuff like that, hurt Lamont with counterpunching, and then kind of reel him in with, with his flurries and stuff like that, kind of like what he did against Hector Luis Garcia, how he just walked down Hector Luis Garcia and then, used the tactic of what I said, and then, stopped Hector Luis Garcia. But yeah, that's what I would like to see with Gervonta Tank Davis, is that I would like to see him be just more, patient, be reckless, yes, but be more patient, and stuff like that. Yes, use defense and stuff. I wouldn't say he has to really overly indulge the defense because, but I mean, I would still, I mean, you never know until fight night and stuff like that, kind of like what I said, because, maybe, in this fight, Lamont Roach's power is a little bit more because maybe it generated more in the lightweight division. So, but, other than that and shit like that, Gervonta, he could use defense, but it's more of just, he needs to just, use more kind of better offensive technique and stuff like that, more. But still, at the end of the day, still utilize good defense, to throw off Lamont Roach's game. One technique that could be, good or bad, and stuff like that, for Gervonta Tank Davis, and stuff like that, is the technique that he used against Leo Santa Cruz, and stuff like that, where he kind of wasn't really active, but he kind of would just reel, Leo Santa Cruz in, and then he would kind of just throw his punches, and stuff like that, and then would just lead Leo Santa Cruz into, his own knockout, and stuff like that. He could do that, but he can't just continuously do that in this fight, and stuff like that. If he utilizes, the technique of kind of what he did against Hector Luis Garcia and the fight of what he did against, Leo Santa Cruz, and stuff like that, he could honestly make that technique of what I said, come to fruition. Because how he can utilize this technique and stuff like that is that, early on and stuff like that, like he can kind of be slow paced, kind of like how he did against Leo Santa Cruz, like be like, slow paced and stuff like that, kind of, real, Lamont Roach in, but then he needs to be active with the jab. He needs to kind of like, use good distance management, and stuff like that. Kind of like how he did against Ryan Garcia, use, good distance management and stuff like that, and then after that, go and utilize, that like, that technique where you're like, reeling, Lamont Roach in for a power punch, and stuff like that, But then later on, that's when, if that isn't working and he didn't get Lamont Roach out of there, that's where later on he needs to, put the aggression on. But yeah, on to Lamont Roach and stuff like that, So what Lamont Roach needs to do to winning this fight, and stuff like that is that, Lamont Roach, and stuff like he needs to, like he needs to be able to, to utilize his boxing skill, and stuff like that. But, but like, I would just say that, like, that he needs to be able to utilize movement, and stuff like that, and utilize good defensive, offensive skills, and stuff like that, like hit, not get hit, and stuff like that, and use good inside defensive skills, and stuff like that, because because the biggest key for Lamont Roach to winning this fight is for him to winning in the outside. Because if he's in the inside, he's not going to be able to win against Gervonta, and stuff like that. Because basically, if he boxes in the inside and just like commits to the inside against somebody like, Gervonta Tank Davis and stuff like that, like that's not going to be good. Because Gervonta, like, he's going to be feeding in this fight in the inside. Honestly, everything, but especially the inside, because that's going to be easier for Gervonta Tank Davis to land his power shots, regardless if it's his left hand or right hand, because evidently both hands are his power hands and stuff like that, so that's the thing and shit like that, and I just feel like, that's what, Lamont Roach needs to do, and stuff like that, because like he needs to really focus of the outside, but whenever he gets reeled into the inside, because Gervonta is quick, that's where he needs to utilize good defense and stuff like that. But this might sound like a little bit like not a good plan, because but at the same time, I feel like what Lamont Roach also needs to do to execute at inside defensive skills and still winning in the inside is that he needs to reel Gervonta Davis into the ropes and stuff like that, and if not, he needs to just commit to like the outside skills. But whenever he's on the ropes and stuff like that, make sure that you're using good defensive skills, but then you're still, because I feel like right there, like Gervonta is going to be trying to just land his punches. So he needs to be able to, outsmart Gervonta, with movement, and then, just, hit and not get hit and stuff like that. Because, why, Lamont needs to do that and stuff like that is that, because when he does that, that can be able to, to put frustration into Gervonta to whenever Gervonta goes in the inside, and stuff like that. If he goes into the inside and stuff like that, he can utilize like that skill that he learned from, on the ropes and stuff like that, and be able to, utilize that in the middle of the ring, but then be able to go and quickly switch up to using outside boxing skill, and stuff like that, so that's what Lamont Roach, needs to do to winning. And that is overall what Gervonta Tank Davis and, Lamont Roach needs to do, to winning this fight. But my final prediction for this fight, so this is my breakdown, and stuff like that, round by round, and then this is gonna, and then it's gonna end up to what my prediction is gonna be, and stuff like that, so basically, the early rounds, the first 4 rounds of the fight, and stuff like that. I do see it where, where like, it is kind of like a slow paced fight, and stuff like that. No fighter is really like really winning, like that intensely. That's really how, things start, mostly. Not all the time, but mostly with, Gervonta Davis fights, and stuff like that. But at the same time, though, and stuff like that, I do feel like, that Lamont Roach is going to win, like, the first, like, 2 rounds, in my opinion, against Gervonta Davis, and stuff like that, just because, it's slow paced, but he's being able to still utilize his boxing skills. And also the reason why, and stuff like that, I have, Lamont Roach winning the first 2 rounds is because he is like a fast starter, and stuff like that, and he does, start pretty quickly, and stuff like that, So, like that's the reason why I do have him winning, the first 2 rounds. But for me, realizing that and stuff like that, I do have it, 3 rounds to 1. Like, I do have Gervonta at least winning 1 round, and stuff like that, against Lamont Roach in the early rounds. But I do feel like just the fast pace of Lamont Roach would be something that would be a little bit difficult for Gervonta to handle, in the early rounds and stuff like that. But the mid rounds, and stuff like that, round 5 through round 8, and stuff like that, The 5th round, I do see that being a Gervonta Davis round. I do see him counter punching really well, and stuff like that. And I do see him starting to walk down, Lamont Roach and stuff like that, utilizing, really good jabs, and stuff like that, being very, very quick with his punches and just making, Lamont Roach have to think about another, game plan and stuff like that to trying to win and stuff like that. All right, so 4 rounds to 3, heading into the later rounds, and stuff like that, and so basically, round 9, and stuff like that, I do have it, in favor of Gervonta, but then round 10, I do have it in favor, actually, let me see. I would say like this. I would say where Lamont, he's winning the round, and stuff like that, but then he gets caught, and stuff like that, and then gets dropped by Gervonta, and stuff like that, and then after that, Gervonta's just going after him and stuff like that, and then he's just getting whooped on by Gervonta, and stuff like that. And then round 10, that's where I see Gervonta, finding, his game plan and stuff like that. And that's where I see Gervonta Tank Davis stopping Lamont Roach, and stuff like that. Not getting knocked out, but I do see him stopping Lamont Roach. But yes, that's my final prediction for this fight, and stuff like that. I have Gervonta Davis stopping Lamont Roach Jr. in the 10th round. I do see Lamont Roach, making it a tough fight. I do see him, giving, some, tough ranges, especially in the early rounds, for Gervonta, he would make it tough for Gervonta, and stuff like that, But before the knockout, I would have it 5 rounds to 4 in favor of Gervonta, overall and stuff. But counting the round that that he stopped Lamont Roach and stuff like that, I like 6 rounds to 4, and stuff like that. I would have it, in favor of Gervonta Tank Davis. So I have Gervonta winning this fight by a TKO, but before the TKO, I have it, 6 rounds to 4 in favor of Gervonta Tank Davis. But thank y'all for watching this video. Make sure you guys like and subscribe, and stuff like that, and repeat, and stuff like that, like I have it, 6 rounds to 4, leading up to Gervonta Davis, stopping, Lamont Roach. But if you want to be smart, if people want to be a smart ass about it, 5 rounds to 4, if you're not counting the round that Gervonta stopped, Lamont Roach. But that's the round, but I always count the rounds, that, fighters even get stopped in, I still count those rounds, and stuff like that, but but one more thing before, I go and stuff like that, is that, soon I'm about to be opening up my my other YouTube channel called Preston's Gaming, and stuff like that, and then and I actually have, a video, of of my gaming and stuff like that, but I just haven't uploaded it yet. I've been kind of lazy on doing that, and stuff like that. It's mainly because I've been kind of like, because I had to, get this fight, and stuff like that, done. And then also, the undercard of this fight, Alberto Puello versus Sandor Martin, and then Jose Valenzuela versus Gary Antoine Russell, and then the UFC, Alex Pereira versus Magomed Ankalaev. So I have a lot of, like videos that I have to do, and stuff like that. So I wouldn't actually really say it's laziness. I would just say that, I just have a lot of shit that I gotta get done with when it comes down to, videos and stuff like that. But once I get that, chance and stuff like that, then that's the thing and stuff like that. But thank y'all for watching this video. Again, make sure you guys like and subscribe. I'm Preston. Peace out. Peace the foot out.